What is up, guys? It's Scott, back with another episode of Scott Talks. I'm your host, Scott, and today we're going to be talking about sports. Let's run it.
I like it.
What is up, guys? It's Scott, back with another episode today, joined by a very special guest, none other than Langston. Langston, how we feeling?
I feel great, man. I feel great. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. You guys don't know, Langston is a former Xavier graduate. He also is a former MassCom graduate. Played at St.Benedict's Prep in New Jersey, national powerhouse, and today he's coming on here to talk. So again, thank you, Langston. Let's get right to it. What was it like playing at St. Benedict's national powerhouse, the same school J.R. Smith went to?
Right.
What was that like?
It was hard. It was definitely hard. It was a while ago. You're bringing back some ancient memories, but no, it was hard. It was fun. It's a life experience I'll never forget. The team that we had that year was just crazy. We went 35-2, like that's crazy. So it was definitely a humbling experience, but something that, as growing up as a kid, if you do play sports in high school or play sports at all, like it's just something that you want to be a part of for sure.
Definitely. Speaking of that team, you guys went 35-2, but you also played with a bunch of guys who went on to play D1. Some guys who are overseas now. What was maybe your favorite memory from that team? Either favorite game, favorite practice moment? What was that kind of like?
My favorite memory, honestly, is being stranded in Florida for a week. I will never forget that time. Like, we went down there to play a game versus Prolific Prep, same school that Jalen Green went to. He wasn't there at the time, but we won that game by 20. We're expected to go to the to the airport to fly back the next day. But that morning, like, yeah, your flight might get canceled. It's a snowstorm in Jersey, so we ended up being stuck in Florida. I visited IMG's campus, the most beautiful campus I've ever seen, college or high school. Like, it's ridiculous. We went to Mount Ver's campus. That was pretty dope. So just having that time with the guys, really just kind of bonding. Like, I feel like you bond most through struggle sometimes. And that was a struggle for us because we're like, look, we're not from here. We in a hotel. We eating McDonald's, Subway, and we get a nice dinner at night on Nike money because we were sponsored at the time. So it was pretty dope, though. That was probably my best experience.
That's dope. You just mentioned Montverde, IMG, Prolific Prep. Again, these are schools that compete for Geico Nationals, the big national tournament. So, again, these are not just the best teams in their state, but some of the best teams in the country. Again, you're playing a national schedule. Kind of what was your role on that team, and what don't you think, like, the average fan might know about a schedule like that and, like, how intense that is and how highly competitive that is?
So my role on that team, I was not a starter by any means. But I did ride the bench to an extent. Like, I still played because we would I did ride the bench to an extent. Like, I still got in because we'd win every game by 30, 40 points. So I'm still playing. But my role on that team was honestly just to get the guys ready every day and practice, knowing, like, hey, we're going up against potential Division I guys, like dudes who are committed to. We played Miles Bridges my senior year. We played Akil Carr. We played Alteric Gilbert. We played P.J. Washington. We played Marcus Howard. We're playing some dudes, Tiger Campbell. Like, the list can go on and on of guys. We played Briscoe. Like, we played a lot of guys. So just knowing, like, in practice, hey, you're that same guy. Go out there and give the team 30. So I used to give them crazy work. They might not admit to it, but we know the real. The tape's out there. But no, my role was just to really get the team ready. And then when I did go in, just be ready for my number to be called. And that's kind of like how I built it off that and just got ready.
Definitely. You just mentioned some big names. Tiger Campbell, UCLA's point guard. P.J. Washington, played at Kentucky now, is on the Hornets. Again, you mentioned Finley Prep. This is a school that Bobo, Kelly Oubre, P.J. Washington, a bunch of other guys no longer in service right now. But I don't think you guys understand, during the prime Ball is Life era, that was a school that some crazy mixtapes came out of. Again, you mentioned Miles Bridges, who, if you guys don't know, Home Team Hoops, one of their star guys that they used to always feature with mixtapes. Again, crazy dunks. Went to Michigan State. Again, you mentioned must-see TV, Isaiah Briscoe. So, again, you definitely played against some guys who not only excelled at the D1 level, but again went pro. So that's amazing. And then off the court, what do you think maybe basketball taught you and some of the stuff that you can translate to your life? Again, you might not be playing right now, but I'm sure there's certain lessons that you probably took with you.
Off the court, it really just taught me to be humble, approach every situation with an open mind because you never know what's going to happen. just like basketball, the heat of the battle, like you got to be able to make adjustments. So that's kind of what it taught me. Like in life, I'm a mass comm major, was a mass comm major. I graduated, shout out to Xavier, but a sales and marketing minor. So my major is like, hey, I want to be a sports broadcaster. I want to be the next Shannon Sharp. I want to be the next Stephen A. But sometimes you got to take a pivot, So right now I work for Enterprise. I'm a management assistant. Start off as a management trainee, so I've been promoted a couple times.
Perfect.
I've been promoted a couple of times. I'm been blessed to get promoted. It's not easy. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's also not easy. So it just taught me how to, play chess and not checkers. Put your pieces on the board, but don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Definitely. You mentioned that, like you just said, mass comm major here, and getting promoted 3 times is not easy.
In a year.
He's being humble, but that's not easy. So, again,
3 times in a year for sure.
Huge congrats to that. We're super proud of you over here at Xavier. Speaking of your time at Xavier, you were one of the original founders of MeUXU, kind of XU Media. You were one of the key pivotal figures in that. Again, for you guys who don't know, I do a lot of post-game interviews and stuff now. But before I was here, Langston was one of those key guys who really got that off the ground. He kind of built that relationship with the athletic department for us to even be able to do that. So, again, this is a huge, I don't think you guys get this is like a very surreal moment that Langston's the reason I switched to mass comm. I actually was a bio pre-med major for 1 semester. Langston was my peer dean. So during orientation week, peer deans are basically the people who, the upperclassmen, kind of help out the freshmen get adjusted to college that first week before classes. Great guy, great mentor. And again, Langston graduated 2020, and to this day, it's now 2022, almost 2-3 years later. Still checks in all the time, still makes sure, whatever, holds me accountable, gives me constructive criticism. So just something like that, we greatly appreciate you coming back on the episode.
Of course. Like you said, that's what it's all about. That's what attending HBCU is about. Giving back to your community in any capacity that you can. Like you said, I did help come up with the name MeUXU. Shout out to Prophet Najee, for those who know who he is or doesn't. We definitely came with the name of MeUXU my sophomore year of college. And the department, the team that we had here, everyone we had, Leonard, Mazzani, LaChance, Deja, from the name of Tia's names I'm forgetting, but you guys know who you are. Like, we all put our collective minds together, creative minds together, and it became something bigger than just a title. So like you said, I did spearhead in terms of covering games, stuff like that, getting that access back. Because it used to be full-on student media. It used to be full-on, like we cover everything, and then it kind of fell off prior to me getting here. And then when I got here, I was like, look, this is what I want to do. So I kind of had to build it up. So it's just a blessing and an honor to see, like, you guys taking that torch and taking it to the next level and doing the things you guys are doing, because, like, that's what I envisioned. We didn't have the equipment at the time to kind of do it how you guys are doing it, but that's definitely what I envisioned. So it's super dope, right?
Definitely. And then another thing, too, again, you're from Jersey.
Right.
Some of you guys may know, all you hoop fans, Jersey had something called the Jelly Fan movement come out around 2016. So tell me a little bit about what that was like, seeing some of those guys put Jersey on the map, as well as some of the great Jersey players you knew who maybe weren't a part of Jelly Fam, but it still went to ball out. Some of them you personally know who are in college now. It's kind of, what that was all like around that time.
It was, from my perspective, I can't speak for everyone, but from my perspective, it was definitely something great to witness. Like, it was good for Jersey basketball. Just a lot of people would be, obviously everyone knows who Jelly Fams consist of mainly, but they're all friends with all good hoopers.
Definitely.
So, like, people would be honorary Jelly Fams. Like, everyone started changing their name to Jelly Fams, so like that. I was one of those. But, you know what I'm saying? It was just super dope. Like, JQ played my high school the year after I graduated, gave us 30. We won that game. It was at Keene. We won that game, but they was going crazy. Luther Muhammad was out there, Hudson Catholic with him, going crazy. They had, he's currently at Arizona State. They had Luke King, who's in the G League. He's a dog. Obviously, everyone knows Nasri, big guard. Like, he's having a pretty solid season for the Timberwolves. Who else? Nate Pierre-Louis, Laker G League. He was at Benedict for a year.
Monster.
I used to practice with him every day. Trey Duval, G League, practice with him. Who else from Jersey? Oh, my goodness. Noah Farrakan and CJ Wilcher. For all you scouts out there or college basketball advocates and fans, if you haven't heard of Noah Farrakan and CJ Wilcher, go tune in. Nebraska and Eastern Michigan, those are 2 dogs from Jersey. When I tell you dogs, as a senior, they were in middle school practicing with us.
That's crazy. I want you guys to understand, again, Langston was not playing at your local public school.
No.
He's playing at St. Benedict's, a national powerhouse. So these guys were practicing in 8th grade with the varsity high school team. That means they were legit. And we can see, Noah famously played at St. Pat's as well. He played at IMG.
Exactly.
So he's great.
And Noah, honestly, so this is a fact that a lot of people might not know. Noah, I think, is one of few, if not the only person to lead a team to national championship, Geico National Championship, as well as a tournament championship in Jersey. For all the Jersey hoopers who might watch this, you guys understand how hard it is to win that tournament. So the fact that he did both is pretty impressive.
Noah's a dog. I'm so happy to see him and Amani balling out. He's been nice, and there was a lot of talk when he went to I believe it was Eastern Carolina first that people like, oh, he's washed. This. Noah's always been a dog. I'm so happy to see him flourishing. And then I think that just goes right into my next thing. Who do you think right now is the face of Jersey hoops, or where do you think Jersey hoops are right now, and where do you rank them? This might be a loaded question, but where do you rank Jersey hoops nationally? Like, what are your top 5 areas for hoops?
The face of Jersey hoops right now, it's gonna have to go to DJ. It's gonna have to go to DJ. Like, he's been holding down Camden, so he's definitely the face. As a Jersey native, I definitely have to say we're number 1. If not number 1, I'll be modest enough to say number 2. Only state that I think that just gives us a run for our money in terms of basketball, honestly, is New York. Like, it's a It's a 1 and 2 thing with Jersey and New York, like, tri-state area. So those are my 1 and 2 locked in, but 3 through 5, no particular order. I know you're from Maryland. They're not in my top 5. I'm sorry.
What? Wait a second. We're not in your top 5. Oh man.
I'd have to give it to Cali.
Okay.
California is making their way up. Just like seeing what Sierra Canyon's been doing over there, that's pretty impressive. So they're up, like I said, no particular order. Indiana's actually a very, very, very good basketball state that a lot of people don't know about. So Indiana's in mine. Okay. And then it's a 3-way tie for the last spot because Texas has some hoopers. Louisiana has some hoopers.
Louisiana?
They have some hoopers.
Wait. So Louisiana's in your top 5, but not Maryland?
Correct.
Look, so you're watching this.
Maryland's number 6. Maryland's number 6. Though.
Okay.
Top 10. It's top 10.
Because look, if you're watching this, anyone in the WCAC or even some of my public school guys, you're watching this, man. Just know I do not agree with that. We are number 1. I will put any Maryland 5. I mean, you guys see what Hunter's doing. You see what Earl did. You see what Markel did. You see they know who we are. They know who we are. Jeremy Grant going crazy in the NBA. Shout out my Maryland.
Oh, look at him, Jeremy Grant. Oh man, okay.
But Jersey got a nice hoop scene. I definitely love watching New Jersey Hoop Recruit. That's one of my favorite pages on IG. The Patrick School has always been a favorite. I love watching Kyrie. I loved watching my Kentucky guy. Nick Richards.
He did. Favorite. So
is he actually from Jersey?
I don't know if he's from Jersey,
but I know he played there.
He went to the Patrick School, so yeah, I know he played there as well. Yeah, I actually just saw something, but it was crazy you brought that up today. Actually, I was mind blowing. So on the way here, I was driving, I saw a post, and it was like New Jersey is now eligible to have schools play in the national tournament, like regular schools, not just the prep schools like my school that play national schedules. When I say national schedule, that means you play at minimum 30 games. And to have a chance, the opportunity to make it, a percentage, you have to have 1 loss max. Like when I said we went 35-2, our second loss was in nationals.
Yeah.
So we went 17-0. We lost to Finley Prep by 30. Shout out Marcus Howard. Game of his life.
When Marcus Howard was in college, I believe he was, if not a top 3 or top 5 scorer in the NCAA that year. He was the same year as Miles Powell. So again, he's playing against legit guys. He's playing against legit competition because Marcus Howard was one of the best scorers in college.
I think he's in the Nuggets G League right now.
Yep.
So
What's that, Grand Rapids Drive? Yeah.
Yeah. So that should tell you everything you need to know. But yeah, our second loss didn't come into the first round versus Lalamere. Like I said, Tiger Campbell. And that team had a loaded team. They had like 2 dudes go to Texas that year. They had a dude go to Louisville. Like they had a Bruce Bowen or Brian Bowen, what was his name?
Brian Bowen. He played in the NBL. Now he's in the G League. They had Tiger Campbell, of course, La Lumiere. I don't know if it was that year, but I know that Jaren Jackson had played for them at one point. So
he came the year after.
Yep. So
he came the very next year.
That is a powerhouse.
He came the very next year.
Most of the guys on their starting lineup are 4 5-star guys. These are guys who, without a question, they're going mid-major or higher. Like
I just thought of that. We played starts with a W. Westtown. They had Cam Reddish and Mo Bamba. Boy, we played them twice.
Yeah. That I don't think people understand. They had them, and I think Pennsylvania also has Huntington Prep too. Like these are schools that, again, the guys who are going here, they're not going here because they think they might want to play. No, these are guys who are pretty 99% certain that they want to play basketball at the highest level. So again,
that's where Miles Bridges went, Huntington Prep. Yeah, that's where he played that year.
John McGriff, viral sensation, DMV Hooper. You're watching this, John McGriff.
Yep.
Love you, McGriff City Gym.
Look at him.
You know, he's playing at I think it's called Bennington. It's upstate New York, but he's hooping out there. So we're super happy with him. He played at he originally signed at St. John's, got hurt, so I'm happy to see him flourishing. But like you said, again, you're playing guys who are
league.
I don't think you guys understand. Mo Bamba in high school and college was
Cam Reddish in high school. What he does right now in the Knicks, I'm glad he's doing better, getting an opportunity. But what he did in high school,
I don't think people remember this, but Cam Reddish was the top 2 or 3 guy in his class. He had multiple 40-point games in high school. And again, not 40-point games against your average, your center at your school is 6'2", 6'3". No, he's playing future NBA guys too, and he was putting up 40 a night. Look at him. I think it was the Thanksgiving Invitational. Sorry, I love Cam Reddish. I was super mad when my Wizards didn't pick him that year because we had to pick him, and I think he went right after us. We picked Rui. Shout out to Rui though. But man, like Cam's a baller. So now I don't think people remember that just because of like what's going on with the Knicks and everything. But Cam can score, and I don't think people understand.
He definitely can score at ease. He gave us 20-something. He gave us 20-something. Mo Bamba had like 15 and 10 and 5 being the blocks.
And he's a smooth game. I don't think people understand too is that about that Duke team. That was supposed to be Cam's team, and a lot of it got overshadowed because RJ I think was the number 1 player that year. I think Zion was number 2. But when Zion got hurt in college and him and RJ were out for a little bit, Cam shined. Just it was hard to go from being the number 1 option to number 3. But Cam, man, we rooting for you, Cam fan.
For sure, Cam Reddish fan. I got him on 2K, so look, just go crazy in the league. So yeah, overall can go up for me.
Definitely, and then I think that just goes next year. My biggest thing. So now again, you have this love for basketball. You have this love for sports.
Of course.
And now you transition into your professional career. You do some stuff, like I know you say you work for Enterprise, but you also do some freelance work and you do some other stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that and how, again, your love for sports has also been able to make you some money?
It all started here, like just dedication, drive, hunger, having a vision, having goals. Like coming in day one to Xavier, like you said, like I did come from a powerhouse high school program, but I'm not one to really harp on the past. I mean, with that being said, when I got to Xavier, I was like, I had an opportunity to try out, whatever, didn't make it, cool, but I still knew what I wanted to do. Like I knew the league wasn't going to be for me. That wasn't my end goal, my next goal. So just started working on my craft from day one. Like you said, I kind of spearheaded making a certain segment of this department, which I'm super proud of that you guys are carrying that torch, like I said. And then that just led to an internship. So my first internship was the GCAC. They just saw me posting everything on being at the game, stuff like that. So like, who is this kid in the stands using his phone, just doing all this stuff? So they brought me on. I started doing volleyball and baseball and stuff for them, doing interviews. And that kind of just kept feeding my hunger. So after that, and I got, like you said, the freelance job with Cox Sports, which I still do. It's called Your View now. So I cover the state of Louisiana, a lot of football games, baseball games. I do some college stuff, Saints pregame, postgame show in the studio. So it's just all based off my fit schedule. So even though it wasn't my initial plan of, hey, graduate, ESPN, whatever, it's still on the course of the track of following those goals, setting those initiatives. So like if you're a mass comm student or just anyone in any field out there, like just because you're not doing your number 1 option at first doesn't mean you don't stay true to your goal. Like people like, you work for Enterprise. How do you use your mass comm degree? Like it's transferable skills. Yeah. It teaches me how to talk to people in all different environments, understanding them, and it teaches me how to control a conversation. So once I get that down pat, which I think I'm doing pretty good at getting 3 promotions in a year, it's just transferred to me when I kept putting out my own podcast. I do have one as well. It's kind of in a rebranding stage. However, I do have an Instagram, so Lango Productions. If y'all don't follow that, go follow that. And that's kind of how it's been getting me paid, just like being yourself, being true, and being personable.
Definitely. And then with that, you just mentioned your podcast. You also mentioned Instagram page where you do mixtapes. And I think that just leads me to my last question. What is your dream goal? What is the end goal? And what would a perfect career, not perfect career, but what would your desired destination be for you? Like when you get to your peak, or not your peak, but like, that plateau of you're doing what you love to do and where you want to be. What does that look like for you?
So for me, it's like that. I can't give you a straight answer simply because as an African American male in America, like it's not you. I don't want to say you can't plan tomorrow, but tomorrow's not promised. Yeah. So I try to live today to the fullest. But to answer your question somewhat, I want to have my own podcast, obviously, like with full on, like, hey, come to the studio. Like we have lounges, we have a more business setup, just multiple setups within my podcast, similar to yours. I'll be talking about sports, music, fashion. That's when I can have my own agency with that. That's why, you know, my Instagram page is Lango Productions, because I want it to be production. Like, I don't want to just be limited to only sports. Definitely. Because I have so many friends in different avenues. Like, I just want to be able to help other people tell their stories through my lens or through my creativity. So if it's sports, cool. If it's music, cool. If it's fashion, cool. Like, I got a friend who has a brand. Shout out to Colo, Neighborhood Flexer, you know. I got a couple rap friends. Shout out to them. Not going to say their names because I don't need y'all harassing me or them. But, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. And then I got a whole bunch of hoop friends, all D1. So it's like, if I can have them pour themselves into my craft and I pour my craft into them, have them come on, and now it's just a melting pot. You know, so that's my biggest goal, obviously. And then being married one day, being able to provide, and just go from there.
Definitely. That's something that you just said that I really admire, that, again, you have Lingo Productions, you have stuff that you're doing that you're dope at. But you mentioned that, okay, you got friends who are rappers, you got friends who have brands, you got friends who are hooping. And one thing that you guys didn't see the other day, me and Lang were in here, Lang had on Neighborhood Flexer, again, his friend's brand. Lang, a lot of his mixtapes are people he knows personally, you know, again, so it's not just whatever, oh, this is what I'm good at, I'm not going to know. He's putting his other people on, because, again, when you make those mixtapes, that's exposure for that person. You know, again, you're wearing that brand. Even if someone doesn't know whose brand it is, oh, I like that shirt. You know, where'd you get it? So it's just, again, that's one thing I really admire, that
of course,
that you do. You know, you support people, you know, that's great. And I think let's get into a few fun questions.
Okay.
You have a Yankees hat on. That's beyond me. But
shout out Aaron Judge. Thank you for signing that contract, my boy.
So would you say that you're a New York sports fan?
Oh, only in two. I'm a Yankees fan. Mildly. I don't actively watch baseball, so don't take that too serious. But I am Yankees. And then this was a setup question, you guys. I'm also a Giants fan. Shout out to the Giants. Shout out Eli Manning.
Commanders tied them.
Hey, we're having a terrific season. Thank you, Saquon, for staying healthy. Just finished it out. Daniel Jones, hey, I have indifferent feelings about you. But as long as you keep winning, we'll be all right. But I'm not a Knicks or Nets fan, not a bandwagon.
What?
Sorry. The Nets are good.
Bro, what are you talking about,
growing up, they were pretty dope to watch, being that they played in Bridge Center in Newark, like where I'm from. So we used to get free tickets, stuff like that. But I'm a Heat fan as well. So.
Okay, so when you're with you being a Heat fan, like, did you kind of come around like the LeBron era, or you just generally like the Heat? So what made you be a Heat fan, being all the way from Jersey?
So growing up, favorite color is red.
Okay.
So the logo was red. It was a basketball. And then I kind of started understanding, like, just team dynamics. So the year D. Wade got drafted, when I really just started really watching basketball. Like, just understanding what was going on, stuff like that. I started playing myself, like, super aggressively at that time. So I was like, okay, this is the team I rock with. Ups and downs, Shaq being there, winning, losing, not being that good. Mike Beasley being there, Lamar Odom being there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had some guy, Jamario Moon, I think, was on the team at one point. Like, yeah. It's my point, you know. So we've had some skeptical guys. Norris Cole.
He had one of the crispiest fades at the time.
I don't know what happened to him. He fell off. I don't know where he's at.
Last time I heard him, I know he was in the Euro League.
See my point? He went from playing with Bron and D. Wade and Chris Bosh to not in the NBA. just that fast. But I'm definitely a Heat fan, so I'm still a Heat fan to this day. Hopefully we can turn it around. Jimmy, I'm not mad at that shot you took last year. Just know that was a good shot. Shot I would take.
I don't think people get. Everyone talks about playoff Rondo, 0-20, 0-23 LeBron. Playoff Jimmy is a real. I don't care what anyone says. And
Sixers messed up.
Jimmy's such a funny guy because, like, his bag might not be the prettiest. Like, he doesn't do something that looks pretty at all.
For sure.
But he's going to get that 30. He's going to get those 10 rebounds. Like,
for sure.
Jimmy's a dog. And his story, I respect him a lot for his story, like, of how he came up and stuff. Like, Jimmy a good dude. I don't personally like Lowry too much. Like,
Kyle, we need to get rid of him. He's so old.
He's a dope player. Like, I loved him when he was in Toronto with Kawhi. But, like, being a Wizards fan, I can't. I don't really like the Raptors, man. We swept them that one year. I love the Raptors. Like, I love some of the players, like Spicy P. You that guy, Scotty Barnes. He got the same name. He's cool, but the Raptors, man, they used to be one of my rivals when we were the Wizards. So, but yeah, okay, that's solid. The Heat, and then let's see. So there's been a lot of talk about like who has the best dance move. So who's better, Jersey footwork or Philly in the hips?
Come on now, gang. You know it's Jersey. Quit playing. We've been like that. 973 stand up. Definitely Jersey. I'm not a dancer by any means, but it will forever and always be Jersey.
Definitely. And I think my last question is, who is your favorite athlete and why?
Ooh. That's a good question. That's a very good question. Favorite athlete in terms of what? Just in general? Like straight athletics? Athlete as in their like what they do as a human on and off the field or court, whatever that may be. Like,
all right, you can give me two. Give me one of your favorite, just like for like off the field, whether it's like a personality, a sport personality, just like someone who's really like, I guess, donates and stuff, charitable. And then like I guess maybe someone who's one of your favorite people to watch, like play their sport.
Okay. I'll start with what I like to watch. So, watching, it's two. Back in the day, it used to be Melo. Like, just watching Melo in the Garden, even though, like I said, I wasn't a Knicks or Nets fan, Melo in the Garden's that was a different atmosphere.
Melo's a bucket.
Like, that was that whole era. The Knicks, as a whole at the time, weren't good collectively in terms of record-wise, but if you play with them on 2K, you wouldn't watch. They were J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert.
That was a cheat code.
Tyson Chandler, Raymond Felton, like that team. Jeremy Lin Sandy came. Like that was a very, very crazy. Jerry Jeffries sucked. But that was a very fun time.
His 2K cards used to be crazy for my team.
So that was one of the craziest to watch. That was back then. More so now, I'd really, like you said, love watching Kyrie. Just being that he is from Jersey, his bag is different.
Bro, his handle is so crazy.
His bag, his confidence is there. It's kind of cool watching him grow up. Like, not saying I know him personally by any means, but just like watching his story, seeing that he's from Jersey, how he went to Immaculate first, and then went to St. Pat's, then Kentucky, only playing like 11 games, make it to the league, being the guy who talk trash to Kobe and stuff, saying I'll beat you. I'm not no high school to a more laid back guy. He still voices opinions. Won't get into politics of that because it's no win or lose in that conversation. But nevertheless, he was someone that's like I enjoy watching now. And in terms of off the field, I do like Deion. I like Deion. I like the message that he portrays. I do think it can sometimes be misunderstood or, just if you're not in his shoes, you don't really know. You see from the outside looking in. So everyone has their own perspective on how they would do things individually. But nevertheless, I do like Deion off the field, as well as, it's kind of hard to knock LeBron. Like
I love, regardless of what people think of him as the GOAT or not, I love what he does off the court. He's such a positive guy. I love how he supports his son at their AAU games. I love how he supports their teammates.
Exactly.
I love how he just what he did with the I Promise school. I think that's amazing.
And that's the biggest reason I said that. Having your own school.
So amazing that all those kids are going to college for free. And like that to me is just, again, he never do that. Like, there's a lot of guys in his position who are, again, multimillionaires, whatever. They might speak up about certain topics, cool, but LeBron always speaks his mind on what he feels is right or wrong. Always gives back. Like that's a good dude, man. Again, I don't know him personally, but
shout out Bron.
But Bron, man,
for sure.
But this is just my own personal humble opinion. That's my GOAT, man.
Hey. Well, like I said, you agree to disagree. My personal GOAT will forever be Jordan, because the word GOAT just means greatest of all time. It doesn't ask the best. Definitely. So you ask the best player, give it to Bron. He has the stats, accolades, longevity, all that. But in terms of your greatness, like going to 8 and 9 finals straight, that is pretty great. It's impressive. But you're not winning them. Winning 6 straight,
that's fair.
And everything that's going on at time, just it's errors in how your emotions make you feel in that given time. So that's why Jordan's greatness is so great. Like LeBron's shoe is a good shoe, but it's nowhere near Jordan's shoe.
I'll say shoes. Yeah, you see, okay, this might be
all that plays into it.
This might be controversial, but I personally think my favorite hoop shoes have to be. There's sneakers in general were KD, just being from Maryland.
Oh yes,
we wore KDs. Like KD after LeBron, KD's my next GOAT. Just because you from where I'm from. You just balling out like that. So KD, salute to you. You the best. KD's the best. I don't care. That's the greatest scorer I've ever seen. But
KD's a dog
KD,
for sure.
he's cool. And then but with LeBron too, I just like him too because I don't know what it was about the Wizards that used to just piss him off. But when we had Gilbert, LeBron would go crazy. We had John Wall.
No
LeBron
chill
would
Gil.
Go crazy.
That's
Hey, okay, now this
hibachi.
Now John Wall's my favorite player of all time. Like, that's my favorite guy. That's my
hibachi.
dude. But no chill, bro. Agent Zero. First off,
that's Steph before Steph.
Bro,
that's Baron Davis.
I'm so glad.
That's a couple of people,
if
man.
If he would have played him today, there'd be no debate that he's one of the top point guards of all time. I don't think people understand. He was taking those deep shots. He played with that same swag.
Didn't
care.
Pass.
And he had some bunnies too. Like, no chill get on that Wizards squad with him. It was him, Twan, and Karan, bro.
They had Larry Hughes too, huh?
Yep. We had some squads, man. Those Wizards teams were great. Yeah, no chill Gil's good. I think between him and
Swaggy.
Wall,
You got Swaggy P with him.
And this might be controversial. I've always told everyone, Nick Young is one of the most talented one-on-one guys in the league. There's not too many guys who score like him. Not too many guys who are athletic. Even with JaVale, and again, people always just saw the low lights, but I don't think people understood. JaVale, he's a 7'1" guy. He moved. Not only was he quick on his feet, but some of the dunks that he had were crazy. I mean, he had a triple-double with blocks. And again, we were a bad team running time, so no one's paying attention or watching Wizards games. But JaVale McGee, so I was real happy when he was able to go to the Warriors and the Lakers and get some rings because him and Swaggy P, man, they both you can't help but be happy for them. They both were fun to watch, but
for sure,
those Wizards teams were bad, man. But back in the day, tickets used to be super cheap, so I used to go to every game.
They probably still cheap. Shout out Bradley Beal, but they probably still cheap. Russ probably turned around a little bit while he was there.
We're not shouting out Bradley Beal. We're not shouting out Bradley Beal. But shout out the Wizards though. Bring back Kelly Oubre, man. Bring back Kelly. That's all I'm gonna say. Bring back Kelly. He's balling out in Charlotte right now. That's my guy, Kelly. Come back, Otto. If you're watching this too, come back. But yeah, appreciate you, Langston. It's been a hell of an episode.
Of course. It's the least I could do. I appreciate being on the show, man. Super dope seeing what you're doing. Like, just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talked off air. Like I said, like, there's someone watching you how you were watching me. Definitely. So just keep going. Always be motivational, but just never be afraid to give back because you never know what will lead or become of this. So if this is your passion, like, keep going. It's super dope that you've been doing it. I've been following you a little while now, man. So just seeing the people you had on here and stuff like that, like, it's a super honor to be on your show. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Like I said, again, Langston is the reason I switched to MassCom, so a lot of the success I have, it doesn't happen without Langston. It doesn't happen without Mr. V, Shan. So those three people really are probably the biggest three. You know, I don't. None of this is possible without them. Again, I appreciate all three of you guys, especially you, Langston. Again, like I said, Langston graduated 2020. Still
COVID.
To this day, Still to this day checks in and all that. So that that's just the things I mean by, like, these are lifelong connections, lifelong bonds that you can't get everywhere. Not everyone is as genuine as that. So I definitely appreciate that. With that, guys, over and out.
Peace.